Hello, friends. Happy Friday. How is everyone doing this evening? It's good that it's Friday, I tell you. Very happy that the week is over and it is the weekend. But it's been a good week. It's been a real good week. We've got some beautiful weather. I mean, we've had days in the 60s, 70s in February. Crazy. Got my furnace service today. I'll tell you a story about that. But yeah, just great to be here with you all. I see we've already got about 30 folks with us tonight. And let's see who we've got so far. So, JMZ56, hello, my friend. Scott at the 16th day. NC Piper, good to see you. Nelly. James Stumbo, the one Simplex one. Big Country Briar. ENAS Dad. Portsmouth Piper, how you doing tonight, Mark? Good to see you. Steve Russell, hello, Steve. Hey, Hillbilly Piper. Thank you, Horatio. Good to see you. Jeffrey Feinberg, hello there. And Bob Kraus, good to see you, Bob. I am smoking the Matches Memorial Friday Savinelli with Haunted Bookshop. And I got something a little different after this. Bona Piper, good evening, Christian. Gary Edmonster, Michael Case. Sunny and 60 in your neck of the woods, huh, Michael? Fantastic. Gordy needs more beer. We'll get it, Gordy. I am Portsmouth Piper. I sure am. Thank you. Doug Owen. Hello, Doug. Self-portrait of Van Gogh and the interest smoking pipe with the band is over his age. Yeah, it was one of the stranger, well, I don't know if I'd call him one of the stranger pipe smokers in history. Van Gogh had his problems, but he was a pretty standard pipe smoker from what I understand, Doug. But yeah, interesting story. I didn't know what to, I'd like input actually. You know, I was doing like you might also like, and that just takes time to find them and, you know, get the pictures down and everything. And then I was doing coming attractions, but there's really not anything coming up. So I thought, I'll just find a couple of pipe smoking artsy things, and those were the first couple that came up. Thought they looked nice. He cut off his own ear for a woman. He was deeply in love, and I believe if I got the story right, he cut it off and sent it to her so she would notice him, which apparently didn't work out so well. Bear Wolf and Miss Kathy, how are you doing tonight, Steve and Kathy? Good to see you. That's so, Nelly. Oh, was it you that went to the Van Gogh exhibit? Sergeant Savinelli, how you doing, Sarge? Good to see you tonight. Because I think I saw some pictures from you, Nelly, with the Van Gogh, the 3D Van Gogh exhibit, and my wife went to that about a month ago, maybe 2 months ago, and really loved it. Looks like it was a fantastic experience. No, Doug, we haunted bookshop smokers keep our ears. That's for sure. We say beta male. Play nice, Tim. Terry, Snarfblad Piper, how you doing, Terry? Good to see you tonight. Sergeant Savinelli is indeed in the house, and it's great to see you, Sarge. Sailor, hello. Tonight he's enjoying Shandygaff in a Savinelli Segalia with Johnny Walker Black on the side. Nice stuff. One Noggin, you had that here in Portland too, the Van Gogh show. I heard it was fantastic. So, Everett Young, how you doing, Everett? Good to see you, buddy. And if I may, folks, if you haven't seen Everett's video, his mom is in the hospital. She had some issues. She fell down and broke her hip and had to get surgery, and now she's fighting pneumonia. So please offer up some prayers and good thoughts for Everett's mom. We all hope she gets strong real soon and pulls through. Zippo765, Armchair Piper, Sergeant Savinelli having a bowl of Captain Black Royal on a cob. Well, we're glad you can spend the rare minute with us, Sarge. Thank you. Yes, indeed, Steve and Kathy. Thank you. Thank you for adding that. Glad to hear you're hanging in there, Everett. Nellie saying the Van Gogh show was amazing too. Yeah, my wife really enjoyed it. She said it was fantastic. I like Van Gogh, and she wanted me to go see it in Philly, but I didn't. Traveling Van Gogh exhibit in the 60s. Wow, Doug. Yeah, very thick paint on canvas. I actually saw a Van Gogh exhibit it was in Pittsburgh, I believe. Maybe it was at Philadelphia Museum of Art. I don't remember. But it was one of these guided tour type exhibits, and it was fascinating. And to actually see some of these, images that you've seen over and over again, they're iconic, but you're actually standing in front of the actual painting and you can see that layering of the paint and all. It's really, really amazing. Phil Rivera's in the house. I haven't seen him yet, but I'm taking Gordy's word for it. There's Phil. Good to see you, Phil. Michael Case was at the same Van Gogh exhibit with Doug Owen. If you guys knew, you could have gotten together and smoked a few bowls of tobacco. Oh, good, Everett. I'm glad you're going to go see her. That's fantastic. Corvette Jim, how you doing, Jim? Good to see you tonight. Boris the Piper, I think I missed you earlier. Clarence Wood. Doug was only 14, so he probably wasn't smoking a pipe yet. Although I'm guessing Michael wasn't much older than that. I shouldn't be talking about folks' age. Oh, thank you, Sarge. Yes, feeling fantastic. Feeling really good. DDT0889. Hello there, my friend. Would have been newsworthy indeed, Doug. So along with the Haunted Bookshop tonight, I am drinking the last of my sweet baby Jesuses. And I looked it up. The plural of Jesus is Jesuses. It's very rarely needed, but that is the actual plural. I really enjoy this beer. It's a chocolate peanut butter porter, which is not my normal style, but it's wonderful, and I like it around the holidays. I bought a 6-pack before Christmas, and this is the last one. That shows you how much I've been drinking lately. Honestly, the drink I have with you guys on Friday night is, unless we go out to dinner, and it's rare that we do these days, that's the only drink I have all week. Scott at the 16th day was an early bloomer. I think it was Everett Young that started his pipe collection at an extremely young age. I might have that wrong. There was somebody that started collecting pipes when they were like 6. Pondering with Pepe's Pipes. You've enjoyed the beer? Well, Jim, I guess it depends. I mean, it is a name, right? But obviously, there's just the one historical Jesus and the one Jesus, if you're Christian, who is the Son of God, if you're Christian. But there is apparently in some Christian denominations, the word is used almost as a way to refer to someone as one of the saints or as one of the I don't know what other word to use other than one of the saints. I wasn't really planning on talking about this, but that's the case where you might need to use a plural. So you could say they were a group of Jesuses. I don't actually know how that would be necessary, but apparently that's the reason why it is possible to pluralize it. But it's not Jesi. And the other reason to pluralize it would be if you're talking about a number of these beers, which would be, I had 2 sweet baby Jesuses last night. And I do feel a little sacrilegious talking about this, but it's a really good beer. Tim was collecting Star Wars toys at the age of 6. Now, Tim, were any of those pipe smoking Star Wars characters? Peterson Piper 264. How are you tonight, Gerald? It is a bit of a dessert beer, Pepe, for sure. Well, Scott, Jesus is a name and Christ is a title. But I'm not prepared to have this discussion tonight, so let's just keep going. Peterson Piper 264. I am a lifelong Catholic who has read the Bible cover to cover many times, and I can tell you for certainty that in the Catholic Bible, Jesus was indeed the only Son of God. But let's not talk religion. Mr. Potato Head smoked a pipe, Captain. Is that true? I don't remember, but if that is true, that's pretty cool. Dude Rustica, how you doing? Glad to hear you're fine, Gerald. And yes, YouTube has its moments for sure. Big Country Briar bought first pipe at 14. Rode his baby blue Huffy to the pharmacy and bought a cob. That is fantastic. Cigarette roller, papers, and a pouch of Bugler. Wow. I've talked about this before. I remember going to the store for my dad with $1 bill to get him a pack of cigarettes and coming home with change. And I was only like 6 years old. I just walk in, the counter was up here, and different time. Terry was collecting boogers at 6. Okay. Hey, at least you were collecting something, Terry. Mr. Potato Head came with a pipe in the late 70s. That is cool. Hey, I saw something that really surprised me last night, and I took a picture of the TV screen and put it on Instagram. I was so surprised by this. Happy Days. I'm not a big fan of Happy Days, but it comes on after the Addams Family, and I do like the Addams Family. So Happy Days was on, and it was just, running, and I looked up and I saw Tom Bosley sitting in an armchair watching TV in the scene, smoking a pipe. He had a billiard. And it was a long scene. It was like a maybe 5-8 minute long scene, and he was puffing on it. I mean, there was smoke coming out of it. He was clearly smoking this pipe, and it wasn't just a passing thing. It was clearly intended to be there. Now, I don't know if Tom Bosley was a pipe smoker, but I never saw that on Happy Days before, and was quite surprised by it. If you're interested, it was season 3, episode 3. What? Doug, I'm so confused. Oh, was it a real potato and it sprouted? I hope that's what you mean. I'm very confused how there were tendrils growing around your toys. Philadelphia Piper made his first out of plumbing connections, but not for tobacco. Well, that was probably wise. All right, Steve, thanks for dropping in, buddy. Yeah, so Boris bought Marlboro. Yeah, my dad was a Salem smoker. Michael Case, the parents give cartons of cigarettes to the teachers. That's incredible. Bosley did smoke a pipe, Codger Jim. Okay, well, I didn't know, but I've never seen Howard Cunningham smoking a pipe, so that was the surprise. And Corvette Jim saying the same. Okay, so you used your own potato with the original Mr. Potato Head. That's interesting. Yeah, Fred McMurray definitely smoked a pipe on My Three Sons. I remember that. Really, they were sisters, Michael, and they wow. All right. Should have filled it before we got started. Blair? Was that a cigarette brand, Tim? He did wear a fez, and it was quite a fez. Yeah, so Sarge used to do the cigarette runs too. Pall Malls. And Codger Jim says they were 25 cents. That's something. My grandmother told me that she used to buy, I think she said that you could buy single cigarettes for a nickel, which was obviously a markup considering how cheap they were. But there were, I think she said drugstore, I don't think it was bars. I think she said it was drugstores would sell singles to you. Zippo says his dad was a Winston guy and granddad smoked Lucky Strikes. One of my aunts smoked Winston, and her husband smoked Marlboro. My dad was the Salem guy. Oh, really, Scott? That's interesting. So in Georgia, they sold singles up until the early 2000s. Wow. Lucy's. Interesting, Jeffrey. A 2-pack. Oh, those were the when the cigarette girls would walk around the clubs. They were little. Maybe they were 2-packs. I don't know how many cigarettes were in those, but they were small packs. ENAS dad says that his granddad smoked Bugler. Roll your own. Ah, so you could never sell Lucy's in Connecticut. Interesting, Sarge. Betty and Wilma were cigarette girls. Yeah. I have a cigarette girl story. I actually did meet a real, honest-to-goodness cigarette girl, maybe one of the last ones, at a nightclub in New Orleans, probably back in, with sometime in the 90s. But now that I've said that, I'm not going to tell the story. You get 3 cigarettes in your C rations. Interesting, Hillbilly Piper. Tony513, how you doing, buddy? Yes, Fred and Barney did do Winston commercials. That's right. Yeah, that's gonna have to get refilled, but we'll switch to backup power. Huh. That's never happened. I was just gonna tell you how wonderful these matches are, and I go and break one in half. Yeah, I really like these. I got them on Amazon, and they're just so much better than those kitchen matches. So you guys are actually going back and forth on whether Betty or Wilma was hotter from the Flintstones. That's It's reminiscent of our old Ginger versus Marianne discussion that we've had a few times. Still have cigarette girls in Vegas casinos. Yeah. Yeah, I would imagine. We sometimes go up to Bethlehem. There's a casino there. It used to be the Sands, but it's something else now. And it's nice because there is, well, now they have smoking areas. It used to just be you could do whatever you wanted, but now they do have some designated non-smoking areas. And they used to have the girls walking around with the cigarettes. Now they just walk around with drinks. And I don't actually know how that works. I've always wondered, like, can I just take a drink, or are they complimentary, or do you have to order them somehow? Or, but I've never been there long enough to care. My wife and I will go. We go there because they've got some really good restaurants, and she likes to do like $5 in slot machines. I don't, because I don't even understand how slot machines work anymore. There's no more of this kind of thing. It's like you got to push buttons and stuff. So we'll spend $5 in the casino. We're real high rollers, and then we'll go eat dinner. Yeah, Barbara Eden was something, Sarge. Grown-up Pebbles? Corvette Jim, I don't think I've seen Grown-up Pebbles. That's interesting. Did they make like a spin-off or something? Elizabeth Montgomery. Good one, Zippo. Who was the oldest in the original Lost in Space? I'm gonna guess it was, what's her name? I want to say Barbara Billingsley, but I know that's wrong. Who played the mother in Lost in Space? E&AS dad, Linda Carter, and you know, still today, well, I haven't seen her in like 5 years, but man, she's amazing. Ah, DDT. That Princess Leia thing was just because of the way she was dressed. Oh, there was a spin-off called Pebbles and Bam Bam. Interesting. Erin Gray, the Dr. Graybo woman. The daughter? June Lockhart. Thank you, JMZ. That's what I was trying to think of. Erin Gray. Are we talking about the original Lost in Space series? I don't think Erin Gray was on that. She would be too young, I think. Oh, don't get me started on Morticia Adams, Zippo. Erin Gray from Buck Rogers, yes. Yes. How do we get onto these things? I mean, come on. I'm here smoking a pipe and having a beer, and you guys are turning me into a dirty old man. I do remember Erin Gray. She was a good reason to watch Buck Rogers. June Lockhart may have been Lassie's mom. She did a lot. She was actually in, I believe it was her first movie, was She-Wolf of London. Very young June Lockhart. Uh, you know, teenage. Fantastic performance in that movie too. So Aaron Gray did a Dr. Graybo pipe commercial. I didn't know that, Lord Hogarth. I'm gonna have to look that up. Mrs. Peel on the Avengers, yeah. Yeah, yeah, she passed away just recently, just a year or two ago. Um, Trying to remember her name, and now 15 people will tell me. It's right on the tip of my tongue. But she was special. All right, Lord Hogarth, I'm going to look that up. That'll definitely be worth looking for. The Gold Diggers on Dean Martin. Boy, we're dating ourselves, aren't we, Jim? Diana Rigg. Thank you, Doug. I knew you'd know it. Yeah, she was that I liked the Avengers. And that was, I started watching that show right around that age where guys start to notice, well, boys start to notice women, and yeah, that left a very strong impression on me. She was special. June Lockhart was a child in A Christmas Carol. Okay, then I was wrong about She-Wolf of London being her first movie for sure. Ruth Buzzy. Eric the blue collar pipe smoker pops in with Ruth Buzzy. There you go. Yes, Sarge, the stinker has arrived. Papa Stinker. Yes, Doug. The actually, people are gonna boo me for this, but that is my favorite Bond movie. That's the one with, boy, I'm not remembering names at all tonight. But the guy that only did the one Bond film and nobody wants to accept him as a Bond. But I thought it was good. I thought it was a really good movie. I thought it was probably one of the best ones that pulled out the concept of Bond as someone that was a killer. Was a killer and was out for vengeance. Had Telly Savalas in it too, I think. Hey, Jimmy Digital. Yeah, good crowd tonight, indeed. Ron Hardcrackers want a mallow bar. George Lazenby. Thank you, Sarge. No, it was George Lazenby. I liked that movie, and I liked George Lazenby. Yeah, Timothy Dalton is the other one. I thought that it's License to Kill, I think. That is a fantastic movie. It's the one where he avenges the death of Felix Leiter. And in that movie, Dalton just plays that role of a vengeful killer. And I thought it was wonderful. And of course, Sean Connery was fantastic, and I don't want to talk about Roger Moore. Or anything else. Anything that came after that. It was all downhill after Dalton. P. Arthur. Oh, come on. Dalton was great in that movie. Yvonne Carter. Yeah, Brian. Yeah. Roger Moore was not the best Bond, DDT. Yeah, but I like them both, Doug. The two least popular Bonds are actually my two favorites. I like Lazenby and Dalton. Yvonne Craig, that's right. That was Batgirl, Commissioner Gordon's daughter. I'll take your word for it, Lord Hogarth. I haven't seen a Bond film since Skyfall, which I thought was one of the worst movies I've ever seen. So I don't even know who's playing Bond now. Dalton was close to the novels. That's a good point, Frank. Uh, I think that was a better representation of the novels, which were very different from the films that we're most familiar with. I thought he was fed to sharks, Jimmy. I thought Felix Leiter was fed to sharks in that movie, but maybe I'm wrong. Brother from another mother. Yeah, Philadelphia Piper. I remember that. No, I don't like Daniel Craig as Bond. Sorry, Sarge. Yes, Roger Moore was the saint, and he was good at that. In terms of longevity and the number of movies, Zippo, I'll give you Sean Connery. I think he was fantastic, no question about it. But I just think that the Lazenby and Dalton movies are very good movies. Progress Piper says they were mutant sea bass. Okay. Goldfinger introduced the butane lighter. Oh, come on. All you Daniel Craig fans are crazy. Lancelot Link Secret Chimp. Oh, Sarge, I haven't thought about that in years. Wow. Ian Fleming wrote Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. I didn't know that. Lester would be a fine Bond, Eric. Indeed. You're probably very familiar with Gold Bond these days, Portsmouth Piper. Yeah, there was elegant smoking for sure, and drinking. Uh, they were movies that were, showing those very masculine aspects of life and glorifying them in a way that made you want to be those characters. Good stuff. Patrick Grant, how you doing, Patrick? Good to see you tonight. Tim grew up watching more. Well, sorry about that, Tim. Austin Powers, there you go, Street Glide. Mr. Bean is Bond, yeah. What was that, Johnny something or the other? And what was that Woody Allen movie where... Was it Woody Allen? Am I making that up? I seem to remember there was like a sort of slapstick version of Bond that was... boy, I cannot remember names tonight. Another well-known actor played Bond in that movie, but it wasn't an official Bond film. And Woody Allen was in it. All you kids. Timothy Dalton, your first Bond, that's just crazy. But I'm glad to know your team Dalton because I think he was good. Johnny English, yes, that was the Mr. Bean, Rowan Atkinson detective. Those were good movies. David Niven, that's who played the Bond character in this movie I'm thinking of. Casino Royale. Peter Sellers, yes, yes. Why am I thinking Woody Allen? I'm way off. Thank you, Mike. Yeah, definitely Sellers. That was a good movie. A funny movie. All right, I have finished the Haunted Bookshop and I am going to have a cigar. So I'll tell you why. We had our furnace service today. And this is a wonderful story in a lot of ways, and it involves my darling wife who bought me this cigar a long time ago. Whenever she goes to Pittsburgh, this is a leaf by Oscar Sumatra, and these are wonderful cigars if you haven't had them. So whenever she goes to Pittsburgh, she goes to Leaf and Bean. She actually knows Island Jim to say hello. Like, they're not good friends or anything, but whenever he's there, he recognizes her, she recognizes him. And she always buys me a bundle of 20 of these because I really love them. So today we're getting our furnace serviced. And excuse me while I light this. So we're getting our furnace serviced, and I had to work, so I normally would be working here, and the furnace is right there. So I had to set up upstairs and let the man come in and do his job. So I didn't really get a chance to talk to him. I came down once and just checked in with him, and he, fantastic, very professional, did a great job. Replaced a valve, told us about some other things that were issues, and laid it out for us in a very clear way. Didn't push anything. So really liked the guy a lot. He did a fantastic job. So my wife comes down a couple times to check on him while I'm working. He got here about 8:30 and he finished up about 10:30. And I hear them coming up the steps and they're talking and stuff, and I had a break in work, so I came out to see what was going on. And as I walk out into the hallway where they are, my wife points at me and says, "Have you ever been to the Lehigh Valley Pipe Club meeting?" I thought, this is odd. Why in the world is she asking me this? Well, it turns out that the gentleman who serviced our furnace, whose name was Andrew, Andrew is a pipe smoker and a cigar smoker, and has been for, I think he said 10 years. We chatted for a bit. He had to get off to his next job, so we didn't have a lot of time to talk, but he seemed very knowledgeable, and my wife had filled him in about my hobby, and she knew how much tobacco he has in his cellar and all kinds of good stuff. I think she's trying to calibrate, like, how extreme am I compared to other folks, but But that was kind of neat. You know, it's so rare that you run into another pipe smoker, and I just wish I knew earlier in the day because I would have taken more time out of work and come down and spent some time with them. Um, so yeah, that was interesting. So we're talking as we're in the hallway, like right by the door, and he's telling me he just got his, I think he said his 10th Boswell pipe. Uh, he's more into cigars now than pipes, but he still has a pretty large collection, and he still, you know, smokes pipes regularly and all that. And he said he just got his 10th Boswell, and I said, oh, we just had a meet up at Boswell's and stuff. And my wife leans over, and he's like packing stuff up and all. My wife leans over and whispers to me. Now she's very proud of these cigars. She found these. I didn't know these existed. She met Island Jim at Leaf and Bean, and she brought me back these cigars, and I love them. So she's very proud of that. She feels, and by the way, it was before they were distributed nationwide, so you couldn't get them unless you went to Leaf and Bean. So she feels like she discovered these cigars, and you know, she's very proud of that. It's cute. So anyway, she leans over to me and like in a half whisper says, and I'm quoting here, and this really made me laugh. She said, "I'm going to give him one of my Leaf and Bean." So these are her cigars now. I didn't realize that. I thought they were mine, but she doesn't smoke, you know. She gave them to me, but these are her cigars. So she goes into the humidor, my humidor, and she's digging around, and the guy has to go out to his car to his truck to put some stuff in and all that, and then we have to sign the final bill and give him a check. And so I go over and I help her because she doesn't know what she's doing in the humidor, and you know, we get out this cigar, and she goes and puts it on the kitchen table, and he comes in, and we, you know, finish things up and all that, and he sees the cigar and he says, "Oh, Leaf by Oscar. Yeah, I've smoked a ton of those. Those are good." And I guess at that point she decided he doesn't get one because she never offered it to him. And he, you know, we thanked him, he thanked us, and we said goodbye. And so I picked up the cigar and I said, "I'm going to smoke this tonight," and that's why I got it. But I thought that was a pretty cool thing to happen. You know, it's so rare to run into a pipe smoker these days. To actually have one servicing your furnace is pretty cool. Ever Young says he just got some news. Dude Rustica has left YouTube. Didn't he leave YouTube like 3 or 4 years ago? I didn't think he was on YouTube anymore. Yes, dear, and call it even. Indeed, Sarge. No takebacks. Andrew Galloway, good evening, sir. So as I was gathering up the stuff to bring down here tonight, I said I'm going to smoke this cigar, and I was thinking about, you know, talking about the fact that Andrew came in, and you know, I found out he was a pipe and cigar smoker, and that was kind of cool. And I thought, you know, that kind of ties into International Pipe Smoking Day coming up, because a lot of people have said that that's a time when you should, you know, share your pipe smoking. You know, go out and take a walk around the neighborhood, smoke a pipe, that sort of thing. Be visible as a pipe smoker. And I was thinking about that, and I said, yeah. So right before International Pipe Smoking Day, this is essentially the right, because it's tomorrow or Sunday, right? It's the 20th, so Sunday. So this will be my pre-International Pipe Smoking Day live stream. I'm smoking a cigar. Why not? Couch, good to see you, buddy. Work has been rough today. Sorry to hear that. Hope you saved the world. Oh, he's not going to be on lives or anything, Everett. Okay. I hope that's a good decision for him. Scott at the 16th day saw a guy with a pipe in his bib pocket. Yeah, long time. It's rare. It is rare. Why is International Pipe Smoking Day in February? Uh, I don't. I actually have a blog post on the history of International Pipe Smoking Day. I don't know if there's anything in there that talks about why that date was chosen. Tony 513's enjoying a cigar tonight too. An acid Cuba Cuba. Hope you enjoy it, Tony. Well, Tim, if they tell you the name of the Game Boy. An antidote to Valentine's Day. There you go, Lord Hogarth. International Pipe Smoking Month, huh? I don't know if that would fly in an ENAS, Dad. Tim, they're gonna love you. There you go, Scott. Sometimes smoking in the park, it's perfect. February 20th has to do with The Hobbit? Really, Ed? Speaking of The Hobbit, has anyone seen that Amazon is, well, I've heard it politely referred to as ruining the Lord of the Rings series? Yes, Andrew, there's a bit less of me indeed. Ah, Tim, I'm sure that's not entirely true. Yeah, I just saw the commercial, Gordy, and it did not look good to me. I mean, it basically looked like they were inventing a prequel. A live version of the Black Cauldron. There's a whole bunch of crap being made that I won't be watching. It might be Bilbo's birthday, Ed, but I don't think I've never heard that as an explanation for the date. I mean, I think it was, if I'm remembering right, it was a European pipe club. Again, I've got a blog post on this that just sort of started having this day, and they picked it for whatever reason, you know, it fit in with their schedule and stuff, and then it got noticed by a larger, you know, there is a European pipe smoking organization or something like that. Again, read the blog post if you want more information. I'll try to remember to link it below, but you can get to it from CaneRodPipes.com. There's a link to the blog there. Yes, Patrick, I wanted to do something a little different tonight. Piper on the 45, hello. Just got home from work. Well, glad you could join us. Bilbo is September 22nd. Yes, Sarge, and there's a video of that that's one of the funniest things I've ever seen. Leonard Nimoy singing the Bilbo Baggins song. Michael Case, if you're talking about Tolkien, I couldn't agree with you more. I mean, I really enjoyed reading those books, and I read them a long time ago. You know, I was grade school when I read them. Yeah, Doug, Sarge is the rare fan of Nimoy singing. And I gotta say, I think the first couple of movies that Peter Jackson made were okay. They looked good. They looked like I had imagined, but a lot of my imagination was actually influenced by the I think it was Rankin Bass cartoons that they made in the 70s. And a lot of what they did in those movies was modeled after those cartoons. So that's why it felt right to me. They did a fine job, but then, you know, when they started splitting The Hobbit into like 5 movies or whatever it was, it just seemed crazy. I lost interest. I've never seen the Hobbit movies. I've seen the first 3, and never saw anything after that. Yes, Tolkien and Lewis were both pipe smokers. That's right, Andrew. I'll have to check out his video, Ed. I'm sure you're correct that he does. I just, you know, my search for the history of International Pipe Smoking Day never mentioned Tolkien in any way. So it might be that it's a coincidence that it's that day and we're now sort of retrofitting it, or maybe I just couldn't find that information. I don't know. Yeah, Doug, I agree with you, but you know, when at the age that I was, and I was in grade school, to be reading a book and then to have a cartoon to watch that showed me what I was reading, and I read the books before I saw the cartoon, so that it was just kind of neat, and it had an influence on me in terms of how I thought those characters should look. Token in South Park is talking. Reuben Piper, hey Cody, good to see you, buddy. Yeah, Philadelphia Piper, a lot of people were not happy about the Tom Bombadil thing. Uh-oh. Well, Doug, I better get myself to confession then. Walter Brennan recorded an album. Interesting. Very interesting run. Brian Woodward. Never read books, they just ruin the movies. I've got a problem here. Apparently my humidor is not humid enough because I'm getting a crack on this. We'll see how it goes. Excommunicated for smoking Presbyterian mixture. Well, let's hope the Vatican doesn't learn of my transgression. And Zippo's down to his last tin of squadron leader. Yeah, I hate it too, Gordy, and this is entirely my fault. I haven't been keeping up with the humidifier humidification refills. Charlie Callis for the next Bond? Beowulf and Miss Kathy. Honestly, I'm not that careful about it. I don't, which kind of shows in this cigar. I get these, they're the gel beads that are calibrated to set the humidity, and I don't remember what it's supposed to be. And I just put plenty of those in, and it's always been fine. But you have to remember to refill them, and if you don't, things dry out. That's kind of you, Doug. Keep the Presbyterian mixture and the three nuns separate, Andrew. Oh, if it's that easy, Sailor, I'll be okay. Yeah, I would guess Charlie Callis is up there, Doug. You have to say the act of contrition, but you after you get the penance, but you still have to do the penance. There's no getting out of it, Tim. The next Bond will be transgendered? Are you kidding, Gary? Yeah, Scott, I mean, poor construction and all that, but these are, I've never had a problem with these leaf cigars. This is definitely the humidity. Little Fat Morgan, how you doing, Todd? Cole, it's a leaf by Oscar Sumatra. Yeah, it has been dry. You're right, Tim. Really, Ron, I'll have to look in. I've never heard anything by Walter Brennan. Recitations, interesting. I will look into that later tonight. Oh, we got another bot. Thank you, Portsmouth Piper. No, Voodoo, he used the right form. I checked. I was like 3 months old, but I was still a stickler. Oh, is that right, Doug? I didn't know that Sumatran rappers had that problem. But honestly, I've probably smoked, oh gosh, over 100 of these, and this is the first time it's ever happened. Swift hammer indeed, Jim. Andrew Galloway, I am in southeastern Pennsylvania. Anyone use Bovita packs for their humidors? I haven't. I mean, I've kept cigars in pouches with them, but I haven't used them just for the humidor. I've got a pretty big humidor. It's like a 220 cigar humidor. So I have to have, multiple humidification things. And I don't think the Bovita packets would work that well in that kind of a thing, unless they got bigger ones that I'm not aware of. Oh, there you go. Scott of the 16th Day uses them. That makes sense, Doug. Okay. Yeah, Andrew. Lancaster is west of here. Mercer, I'm not too sure. All right, Bear Wolf and Miss Kathy, you guys have a great evening and a good weekend, and hope those backs are feeling better. Oh, Everett, that's only partly true. I have been more nervous now that I know the border's open. Jars of propylene glycol work best. Yeah. No, Voodoo, that wouldn't be valid. Baptized in a tub of Yingling with some haunted bookshops sprinkled in. That wouldn't work at all. Oh, there you go, Sarge. Yeah, I think as long as you've got liquid in the humidor, it will keep the humidity about where you need it to be. And, there's some guys that say it's got to be at exactly 63 or whatever. And, if that works for them, that's great. But for me, I've just always been happy if the cigars were not cracking. So what I use are these beads. I don't know what they're made of, but they swell up and absorb water, and then they slowly release the water. And I've been using those for a couple of years now, and they're good. They do the job, but you just have to remember to add water. James Stumbo says they do make big Bovita packs. Okay. But how do they work, James? Do you just throw them away when they're used up and buy new ones, or can you recharge them? Ah, I didn't know that about Walter Brennan, Ron. That's interesting. So, World War I veteran and a mustard gas survivor. Yeah, Voodoo, that's what I used to use for a long time. The 50-50 water and propylene and the floral foam. And it works. Okay, so you throw them away or you can recharge them, but yeah. The reason I went to the system I'm using now is that I don't have to have anything on hand. You know, I would always, when I was using the 50-50 propylene glycol and water, I'd have to have the propylene glycol or one of those, you know, you could buy it pre-mixed. If I did the Bovita, I'd have to buy more of the Bovita packs. You know, with this, I just have to fill the things up with water and they're good. So that's why I like it. But, you know, it's like anything else in the world of pipes and cigars. If it works for you, it works. You know, guys, I have to admit, I feel a little silly, but I do not know what the story is with Catholics having to be rebaptized. I don't know what words were used, what were used wrongly. I do know a very funny story about that, but I can't remember the details of it. So. I wish I could remember who it was because he was someone that became quite famous. I shouldn't say famous. He quite well known in the church, who was made a bishop, and he was being invested as a bishop. All right, Sarge, thanks for joining us tonight. It's been great seeing you, buddy. Yeah, Doug, I've been using tap water for like 10 years and it's not had a problem. But you're right. I mean, a lot of people say that, you know, get impurities and that can lead to issues. Yeah, Sarge, stay safe, please. So there's this priest who is going to be made a bishop, and there was some reason it had to happen quickly. Like the bishop had passed away suddenly, and he needed to be replaced, and there was a cardinal there that could, you know, lay hands on him and make him the bishop and all that. And they were, and this was a well-known priest. He was like a local Monsignor or something. And this was in Ireland, if I'm remembering the story right. The priest was saying, "We baptize you and not I." Oh yeah, that you can't do that. Definitely can't do that. Yeah, that was a rogue priest. That wasn't a problem with the form, or you know, that's not going to be widespread. It was just that one guy being a bit liberal in his approach. Interesting. Yeah. So anyway, the story is that this priest is about to be made bishop, and as you know, routine, they ask several questions, one of which is, were you baptized, and do you have a record of the baptism? And they go into the church, because he grew up in this town, and they go into the church to find there's no record of his baptism. And he said, I don't understand that. You know, I was definitely baptized. I'm, you know, Catholic my whole life. I'm a priest. I've received all the sacraments. I must have been baptized. And there's a woman there who, you know, old woman, and she says, oh, the day that they brought the baby in to be baptized, the priest was out of town or something, and she baptized him. Now, in Catholicism, that is perfectly valid. Anyone can perform a baptism. You don't have to be a priest. But you have to say the right words, as we're talking about here. And she says, I baptize him myself in the name of Jesus, Mary, and Joseph, which is completely wrong. So they had to then go and baptize him, and you know, it was a whole mess. But it's a funny story if you're Catholic. I'm sorry if this is boring, but it came up. Yeah, I can imagine some areas would have purer water than others, Doug, for sure. Yeah, Lord Hogarth, there's a lot of very interesting history. No question about it. Doug Owen, thank you, sir. Thank you so much, my friend. I greatly appreciate that, and hopefully you got some foghorn there. So, Philadelphia Piper, this is something I've thought about a lot. Um, the way you get chlorine out of water or any other contaminant out of water is you distill it, right? So when you go to the store and you buy distilled water, you're buying water that has essentially been boiled into a vapor and passed through a tube and dripped into a bottle, and it leaves behind the impurities because the impurities do not evaporate. So if it's sitting in the humidor evaporating, I'm glad you thought so, Doug, because I didn't think it was worth much at all. But thank you. So if the water is evaporating, it's just distilling at a very slow rate, and technically the impurities should be staying behind in the container. Again, do what you're comfortable doing. If you're worried about contaminants and mold, by all means use distilled water. It's cheap and easy. But I've been filling my cigar humidor with tap water, and I've been rehydrating tobacco with tap water for many years and have never had a mold problem, never had any off taste or anything. So, but you do what you're comfortable with. And no, Andrew, never use pool water to humidify your cigars. That would be a mistake. Preacherman Piper, this is a leaf by Oscar Sumatra. Cheap and easy. There you go, Everett. You could use Dasani water, Tim. It has to be clean water. That's one of the requirements. Amen, Tim. Boy, we've had a lot of religious talk this evening. I hope that hasn't been too much. I try to avoid religion and politics on these, but sometimes the discussion goes in a certain way. Ah, there we go. Couch is coming over to Team Tap Water. Thank you, buddy. But Doug's point is valid. Not all tap water is created equal. Yeah, Doug, and I'm sure that if I was doing a commercial humidor rather than my own personal one, I'd probably think about it differently. Return of Faith Chat Friday. Yeah, thanks, Tony. And yes, my taste in purity is very suspect voodoo for many reasons, as we heard earlier as we were discussing actresses of the distant past. Never use Flint water in your humidor. Ah, Tim. Good point, Sailor. Good point. It is just another part of everyday life. And, you know, I've always said that I think I think too often when we talk about politics or religion, for that matter, any of these hot button issues, we're trying to convert the other person, we're trying to debate them, we're trying to be right, and that's not the right approach. I mean, we should be sharing what our own experiences are and understanding one another. And I think that's part of the reason we are so divided these days, is that nobody wants to take the time to understand the other side. They just want to be right. So hopefully the discussion was more from the point of view of understanding than telling, you know, this person's right and that person's wrong. Although saying we baptize you is clearly wrong under the Catholic form of the sacrament of baptism. That's just, you know, we're allowed to say that because the Catholics have determined that's what it's supposed to be, and it's not what that priest was doing. Yeah, Doug, I wouldn't want to do that. 6-foot humidor with 3,000 worth of cigar. Yeah, you'd want to be careful with that for sure. Andrew Galloway channeling Stephen Wright. Oh, we're back to that, Gary. Yes, Angela Lansbury was. You know who else was a very attractive woman when she was young? Well, she was an attractive woman when she was older as well. Marion Ross. Marion Ross is in an episode of Perry Mason as a young girl. I mean, she couldn't have been 20 years old. Really beautiful woman. Yes, Tim, you are always right. Words do indeed matter, Sailor. I wish more people understood that. Folks, I got 2 minutes to go here. I'm not going to finish this tonight. Oh, Michael, I'm sorry to hear you got sick. I hope you're okay. 20 pounds, that's a lot to lose being sick. I haven't decided on what my goal weight is yet. I'm either at it or I've got 5 pounds to go. So it's one or the other. But I'm pretty happy with where I'm at. I'm not going to worry too much about the actual number. As long as I stay in this range, I'm happy. Linda Harrison. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. She was in the picture of Dorian Gray. I don't know the lodger, Doug. But yes, Angela Lansbury was in those, yeah. Preacherman Piper, 125 pounds on keto. Fantastic. That's impressive. Well, folks, it's hard to believe that 90 minutes has flown by so quickly. But I've really enjoyed the conversation. Great of you all to show up and spend Friday evening with me. High point of my week for sure. Next week we will be back with more of the same. And hopefully we'll have some new stuff coming up in the not too distant future. So let's see how that goes. I'm gonna finish the cigar and drink off screen. I hope you all have a fantastic weekend, and I look forward to seeing you all again next week. So take care.